Okay, we're at the entrance to East Fork Campground. I'm going to take a tour around this. At the entrance, we do actually have a little day use area here. There is a boat ramp taking you down to the river. Like I said before, don't bring anything you're not willing to hit a rock with. We do have wood available when there is an attendant around. Right now, at the moment, there seems to be someone here, but it will be closed up later. Right away, I've got 101. This person seems to be set up for a while. Solar panels and all. I'm going to do one side at a time. We're going to start with all the waterfront. So this is 103. They really want to make sure you don't set your tents closer to the water. Just stay within the area that's designated. (104) you can actually kind of pull through. All of these have a little trail heading to the water. Alright, coming up on 107. Well, it may have a trail to the water. It is a not right on the water, but it has water. It's the only place in the whole campground where there actually is water to drink. So if you need water here, the only fresh water is coming out of that pump. 108, they designate that you park up here, you can put your tents back there, but only to a certain point. (109) I know has a halfway decent water access. It actually has a little pad down there you can sort of set a chair on. (111) pretty big space. All of these are not electric. This is 113. Lots of room there, right on the water. 115. (117) is quite big. You can fit a pretty big piece of equipment here on the pad and have access to the water down there. 119 over here now. So you can tuck away something off on the side there. Again, river access. 120 over here, I'm going to pull through and show you its river access. So here's 120. It's got a pull through. And we'll go down and look at the river from here. Alright, you can see the site with my vehicle in it. And we come down this little path. So you can sit here and hang out, but it's still not easy to get down to the actual waters way down there yet. So that's still a hike down. But there is a little spot where you can sit and sit and watch the birders go by. Alright, coming out of that little pull-through site. Then we come up on the split at the end. So this is a fairly small campground here. Then we have 122 over on the right. Not waterfront. Fairly isolated. We come around the circle to the self-guided nature trail that will take you up along the river. 123, which is my site, and 124 over here, which has a nice walk down to the river off of his site. Now the rest of the ones I'm going to show you are all the ones that are away from the river. There's not a lot of them, but they're hiding over here. So let's see what number we're at. 121 over here. Plenty of room in that site. Next to the vault toilets. On the other side of it, we got another little site here, not a very large one. 118. Another site. This one is actually pretty big. There's a lot of room in this one, off the water. 116. Now this one has a fair size space here and then additional room back there by the table. So 114. Oh, fair size, big circle site there. 112. This is a nice wooded one over here with a separate spot for your pad and definitely a different area for the table and picnic table and fire ring is at 110. Coming up to our next vault toilet, and this is when we're across from the water pump. That's over there. This apparently is not a site. Sure looks like one, but it isn't anymore. And we have 106 right there. And another nice small little site here. That is 105. And I got another one over here. So if you want a little more isolation, not so butt up against your neighbors, you take the outside ring, the non-water waterfront ring. 102. And I believe that is all of them. That would be the campground tour. All the sites along the river actually do have access to the river, just some are easier to get down to than others. It is a hike down, I don't want to say hike, but it's not exactly level. Good morning. I am out for a morning sunrise hike straight out of my campsite at East Fork Campground in Black River Forest. The trailhead is basically like my campsite, which is at the end of the campground, and it just heads east. There is no description on the map. It shows there's something going out this way. The trailhead said self-guided nature trail. Doesn't tell me anything more than that. And when I look at the map, it says there is a trail heading this way, but it shows it following the road. And I'm following a river. It's a very nice trail. Very squishy. Got sandy soil with pine needles on it. I was out here last night in my summery comfy shoes and it felt great. I'm in my hiking shoes now because I want to be able to get off the trail once in a while and get down by the river. But I have no idea where this trail is going to go. Let's find out. Well, I made it as far as I made it last night because this is my marker. There's not much out here to mark a trail. Remember where you've been and how far you've been. It's fairly similar all the way out. So for now, it's all fresh stuff for me. Let's just follow the river here and see how far we go. I get the feeling they don't do a lot to maintain this trail. Just came across this tree that looks like it's been down for a couple weeks across the trail. but it's not hard to get around. Keep going on. I think I got a good shot coming up here. Well, that's the end of that. So last night, I took my kayak out onto the river here. Figured, hey, I'm camping, I'm on the river. It says a waterfront site. There is a difference between waterfront and beachfront. Waterfront, yes, the water's right there, but it was probably about a 10-foot drop down to the water. So not the easiest to launch from. And because this is the East Fork of the Black River, and I think I understand where the name comes from, it's the coloring of the water, makes it impossible to see 3 inches below the surface of the water. So you have no idea where the rocks are. And there are a lot of them. And you don't know when you're going to beach. Every now and then I sort of feel myself beaching onto some sandbar. Couldn't see it at all, didn't know they were there. So it's not the best place to kayak. And you saw some of the rapids there. You call them rapids, but they're impassable. And around them are also rocks that you don't know exist. I'm going to try a little bit more and head further upstream, or downstream I should say, towards the lake a little later, and we'll see what it's like out there. So I'm out paddling the East Fork of the Black River, and you're not going to find a lot of people out here. It's not an easy paddle. Well, it's an easy paddle. It's not exactly flowing hard, but you never know when you're going to hit a rock. I think there's one there. I think there's one there. There might be one over there, but a lot of them you don't see if they're far enough under. And let's see if I can show you here with my paddle how quickly things disappear. Where'd my paddle go? So it's very easy for a rock to disappear, and most of the rocks are still very sharp. What you see up top actually looks pretty rounded, but the stuff underneath looks like almost man-made cuts. It's a very, very sharp, rocky river. Very, very pretty out here though, and quiet. So just a little bit around the bend, and you start to open up to a dammed up area where there's a lake. So we'll show you that in a minute. Got away again. So just as I came around the corner, I scared a bald eagle. He was up in that tree. He just took off again. But you can see heading off down the water out that way, it opens up. Judging from the sounds up there and the birders watching, I do believe we have a nest up there. So that was a turkey vulture nest, not an eagle nest. This is an interesting, I'm just a little off to the side, and there's this interesting little inlet that if you carefully paddle through, it's kind of fun as you maneuver through all the rocks. And I saw some other big bird just fly over my head that I couldn't identify in the short time I saw it. It looked as big as the eagle, but looked more like a coloring of a hawk. I made it out to where basically we're starting to turn into a lake. Around the corner that way, the Black River flows down. We got a lake out here with a dam off on the left somewhere to create this lake. I'm on the East Fork of the Black River right now, flowing in. If you go around this point, there is a county park campground that is quite extensive, that has what I would call beachfront availability with electric and all of that. So it was jam full of RVs camped on the beach, where they can also basically beach their boats and just go out, drag the boat back out into the river and enjoy this. But you definitely don't want to bring those boats up this way, because even when it seems wide open, right out here, there's still a rock poking up. So there's still a lot of little rocks hiding out here underwater, and you just cannot see them. So you need to be in the deep section unless you're in a slow plastic craft like I am. Otherwise, you are just asking for a hole in the hull of your boat.